Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Tori, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. As you guys know, the US Independence Day is right around the corner, July 4th, and in honor of that, I thought that I would do a little mini-series all about being single, how to get over a breakup, all things like that. So that is what we're doing today. We're doing the first episode, which is how to get over a breakup. So if you recently have been broken up with, recently broke up with someone, and you are looking for tips to heal through that, then you definitely came to the right place. I'm super excited to talk about this. I don't think I've done an episode about breakups or being single in like at least a year, I feel like. So I'm really excited to do that and just kind of talk to you guys about it and get into all the tea. So yeah, I'm not going to make this intro too long, so before I jump in, don't forget to follow on all platforms. We're so close to hitting so many goals, and I'm super excited, and I would love it if you guys took the couple of seconds to follow. And then also, I have my Instagram and TikTok link below if you want to check out those as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm Grace Tori, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. So, I am not the 100% most experienced person in this department. Like, my only, long, serious relationship that I've been in before the one I'm in right now, I've been dating my boyfriend for over 3 years, but the one before this that I was in for a while, I broke up with him, so I've never been broken up with in, a long-term relationship. Situationships, whole nother story. Been broken up with people, goes both ways. But for long-term relationships, I've never been broken up with. But I knew that you guys wanted the tea, and I wanted to be able to provide that to you. So I went to my Lord and Savior, Pinterest, of course, my therapist, the knower of all, and looked up all the graphics on there and got some tea. So we're going to be going through all of the tea that they have on things that you should do on how to get over a breakup and kind of going through it in real time. That way we all get the honest tea. I do have a couple things I want to say. These are things that I've learned that I know to be true 100% when you are thinking about breaking up with someone, going through a breakup. And the first thing is, if you are thinking about breaking up with someone, break up with them. If you are I don't know, going back and forth, but you know in your heart of hearts that this is not the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and you are just kind of putting off the inevitable, break up with them. Set clear boundaries. Don't be we're just going to take a little break. No. Set clear boundaries. Let them know where you stand. Let them know that you no longer wish to be together. I know that it's hard. I know that you don't want to hurt their feelings, but you need to set clear boundaries from the jump, or it's going to make things messy later on. So if you are planning to break up with someone, be clear. Don't push off the inevitable. Don't push it off another week. Don't push it off another year. I've been you, girl, and just break things off. Second thing is more for judging relationships. For me personally, I feel like when you are with the person you're meant to be with, it's really easy. It's not always easy. You're going to have rough times. But I think that when I found, my person, compared to the relationships I was in the past, whether it was a situationship or my long-term relationship, anytime that I've kind of been feeling it out or whatever, I felt with that person before Josh came along, there was always something a little off. I always just felt a little bit uncomfortable, there was something missing. I also felt I had to play games, or it was an internal chess game where it was oh, if I text them at this time, or if I talk to them at this time, what's that gonna be? If I text them to do this, oh my gosh, what are they gonna say? And I almost felt I was always on the edge of my seat, and there were games and things, and I know that that's considered to be toxic, and I know that it's fun, but when you're with the person you're meant to be with, from the jump, it's gonna feel easy. It's gonna feel like it's meant to be. I never felt nervous to talk to Josh. I never felt nervous to text him and be hey, do you want to hang out? Because I just knew that he liked me, and he was the person that I'm meant to be with. When you know, you know. I know that's so cheesy, but I'm just telling you, if you are with that person right now and you've been thinking about breaking up with them, and you just have that gut feeling something's missing, go with your gut, because the person that you're meant to be with is out there, I promise you. And you won't feel that way with them. You will find them and you will feel better. So those are my little tips, like the main things I think about when it comes to relationships and breaking up. Other than that, everything else is going to come from Pinterest. So let's go ahead and see what Pinterest has to say. Alright, so the first picture I got off of Pinterest, it's from NYNIBI. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But it's a to-do list for after a breakup. So the first thing it says is take refuge in your bed, and then the second is cry till the tears stop. This will take a few days. It depends on the breakup. Honestly, I think that sometimes you can skip that step. Like, personally, I think that for like relationships where you've been trying to make it work for a long time, like, there really wasn't much of like a break up where like I was crying and stuff. Like, I think that I heard this saying one time and it was like, when a relationship ends between like a guy and a girl and like they've been trying to make it work for a long time, a lot of times the woman is kind of over it by the time the relationship ended because she's more in the relationship before it ended and she's done like everything she can. Whereas with the man, like, especially when the woman is the one to break it off and she was the one trying to make everything work, it's a little bit more of a shock to him. So if you don't feel like you need to cry, don't force yourself. Don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty for not like feeling upset about it, because a lot of times we mourn in different ways. But if you do need to cry, definitely take the time you need. Take refuge in your bed. There's absolutely nothing wrong with watching a movie, laying down in bed, skipping the gym. Number 3 is don't listen to slow songs. I personally disagree with that. I love a good Spotify playlist, especially a breakup playlist. Yes, it's going to put you in your feels and it's probably going to make you more sad, but for me, it's very healing and it's very therapeutic. So do what you think is best for you. If you don't want to get in your feels, then yeah, don't listen to those songs. But if it's a part of your healing process, whenever you get upset about certain things or you need that, you need to listen to a song about it and feel like you have someone who relates to you, then definitely make yourself a fun little playlist. Number 4, delete their number from your phone even though it's memorized on your fingertips. That's a little dramatic, girly. The Pinterest girls are Pinteresting. I don't know if I would say that. I feel like that's a little bit extreme. This is not going the way I thought it would. Okay, I'm gonna just give my own advice on this. It depends on the person. I think that I'm one of those people who literally does not delete contacts. Like, if I ever had your number, I still have your number. I may have blocked it, but I still have it. I think that this is a little bit extreme. I think that setting boundaries is a better way. If they don't respect those boundaries, yes, block them. But you never really need to delete their number unless, you're like fully over it. Maybe that's just a me thing. But I think that it's very important to take some time to be independent and not reach out to them and vice versa. Like, even if you still want to be friends, I don't think that's necessarily a great idea, but you do you. Even if you still want to be friends, take like at least a week where you do not talk to each other, because I think that it can really mess with your emotions and you need to get clear on what you want and where your head's at and what truly you think is best for you. And it's hard to do that when there's someone who you care about and is very affects your emotions as that deeply. I think that you just need to take some time away from them and not talk to them. Don't look at old photos. Agree, I do delete those. I would say delete those. You may regret it, but I mean, I delete them. I don't keep old photos. Don't look at them. I'm good. Number 6, find the closest ice cream shop and treat yourself to 2 scoops of mint chocolate chip. The mint will calm your heart. You deserve the chocolate. I'm not sure about the facts on that one, but as we know, Pinterest is never wrong. But treat yourself to ice cream, treat yourself to something. I definitely do that if I've had a bad day or anything. I think that you definitely deserve some ice cream. I do want to add to that, though, get dressed up. Make yourself look cute, and when you go to get your ice cream, go by yourself. Or if you want to bring someone, you can, but don't feel bad to go by yourself. But get dressed up, do your makeup, wear a cute outfit. I promise you, it may suck to like do it in the moment, but it is something that you'll feel better when you do it. Number 7, buy new bed sheets. That one's a little weird. I've never felt like a connection to like my bed sheets because someone has been in them. But you do you. I think if you need to replace certain things, replace certain things. I'm more weird about clothes. Like if we wore something, like if I wore something with someone on like vacation or on like a date and like it was like a meaningful thing, I will get rid of that. So get rid of that. Because you don't need the energy. I do believe that clothes hold energy. That's like a common thing I think people believe. And you want fresh energy, so get that out. If you want to do bed sheets, do all the things you need. Collect all the gifts, t-shirts, and everything with their smell on it, and drop it off at a donation center. 100%, get rid of it. You don't need it. You don't want it. Your goal is to get to a fresh start as quick as possible, because if you don't, every single time that you like turn around to take a step further into that fresh start, you're going to be reminded of it, whether you see like the shirt that they have or like whether you have like a picture of them. Like every time you see that, it's going to bring up old wounds. So for me, the most important thing is to get everything out so you can have a fresh start. So get all of that out. Don't hold on to it. Don't mourn it. Get it all out. Plan a trip. I would say that this, but it doesn't have to be like a fancy trip. Like, for example, my mom lives an hour away, and whenever something bad happens, I go there. I will say that when I broke up with like my one long distance relationship, he lived where my mom lives, like an hour away, and I was at college. So I literally just stopped going home. And it was the best thing I'd ever done. I honestly wish I would have done it sooner, because being able to be on my own and be independent and not have the constant reminder of like our like all of the places we went or whatever. And like I was over it by the time we broke up, but there are certain places where it's like, oh, we hung out there a lot. So it was like really a fresh start. But back to planning a trip, if you can't just up and move away, plan a trip, whether it's an hour away to like a cabin, whether it's, you know, a country away. Do something independent, because you feel better when you're independent. Like it's empowering, and I highly recommend it. Number 10, perfect the art of smiling and nodding when someone brings their name up in conversation. I agree. Never let them catch you slipping, even if you're upset about it, unless it's in like a room of people that you trust. Smile and nod, baby. Don't let your crown fall. Like you got it. Like I know that it's kind of like faking it till you make it, but fake it till you make it. Like you are good. Smile and nod. Unless they're like one of the closest of people in your life, they don't need to know. 11, start on a new project. I'm the queen of this with my ADHD. Starting a new project is very distracting. Preferably do one that's like long-term profitable or like good for you. Like don't just start a random house project and then not finish it. Like do something that in the long run is going to be beneficial to you. 12, whatever you do, do not call. Obviously, bestie, we already talked about that. Number 13, do not beg for what does not want to stay. 100%. 100%. I think that it's important to know that what is meant for you will stay, and what is not meant for you will go. Keep it that way. You shouldn't have to beg someone to be around you. If you have to beg someone, then they're not your person, and vice versa. You know, if someone is begging you to be around and you don't feel like a connection or anything, let them go. Do not beg for what does not want to stay. 14, stop crying at some point. Definitely feel your feels, but there does come a time when it's like, okay, pick yourself up by the bootstraps. You can't just be upset forever. You gotta let it go. You gotta do what's best for you, and what's best for you is to make a life for yourself and move on. I know that you maybe don't want to hear that, especially if you're in the thick of a breakup, but like, bestie, get up and get yourself going. Laying there is not going to fix anything. It's not going to make you any money. It's not going to make you any friends. It's not going to bring you a step closer. It's just going to make you more sad. Don't fall deeper and deeper into the sadness. Fight it and get up and get your life going. Number 15, allow yourself to feel foolish for believing you could have built the rest of your life in someone else's stomach. Not sure what that means, okay? I get what it means, but I don't get what they meant by that. But yeah, it's okay. I know that I literally get embarrassed when I think about some of the people that I dated or had a situationship with or whatever, but it's fine. Like, it's fine. We all feel that way. You're not alone. So it's okay to feel icky about it and feel like, oh, I can't believe I believed him or whatever. Like, it's okay to feel blindsided. It's a universal experience. We all feel that way. Allow yourself to feel that way and understand that you're not alone. The last thing is to breathe. Breathe. You don't have to have the whole rest of your life figured out. You don't have to have the next person figured out. You could have been blindsided even if you broke up with them. Like, you don't know. I don't know the situation, but just breathe. You don't have to have it all sorted out. So next we have how to get over someone by the Pleasant Relationship. It's another little graphic, and it's got 16 steps as well. I'll try not to repeat these, so if it's the same one, I'm just gonna like read it and keep going. 1, cry it out, very therapeutic, feel your feelings. 2, admit to every situation, 100%. I think that it's important to be honest with yourself and like just think through the good, the bad, things you could have done differently, things they could have done differently, things that I know there were a lot of ways where someone treated me horribly and I made mistakes or I made excuses for them a lot and I was like, yeah, no, they didn't mean it, like, or, oh, they had a lot going on. Admit to yourself that they did treat you poorly and maybe you treated them poorly in some ways as well. Start loving yourself, 100%. Like I said, self-care all the way. When I break up with someone, not that I do that often, that sounds like I do that every week. Like, no, I've been in the same relationship for like over 3 years with no intention of us breaking up. But when something bad happens, the first thing I do is self-care. Like when I left my job, self-care, reset. You gotta love yourself before you can do literally anything else. Everything flows from you and your love for yourself and all of that. So you gotta fix yourself and then everything else will fall into place. Accept your thoughts and feelings. That comes with crying it out to me. You gotta accept how you feel. You gotta let yourself feel it and do the appropriate, actions that come with that. Remove things that remind you of your partner. We talked about that. Stay away from social media for a while. I agree. Don't post about your breakup. Don't be looking up his social media. You are trying to have a fresh start, and I think that social media can be very toxic, and it gives you too much access to other people. So if you do want to know what's going on with someone, you're constantly like looking and saying, okay, have they updated? Like, what are they up to? And you don't want any of that. I have been very, very off of socials for the past couple of months. I just feel like there's really not much good that comes from it. There's so much inspiration and motivation and connection with those that you care about and things like that, but the bad has been outweighing the good for me personally. Like the comparison, the knowing a little too much about other people's lives, sharing a little too much. Like I used to be big about sharing everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, like, oh, this is my authentic self, like, I'm not lying, I'm not just putting the highlights, like, I'm sharing it all, and it's like, why not share any of it, like, or why not just not share any of it, like, move in silence, kind of. You don't want to tell everybody every step of the way, or every step that you're making. Just kind of do your own thing, and pop in from time to time, whatever feels good, but you don't owe anyone anything, and you don't owe anyone an update. Like, just take time away from social media. That's the first thing I cut out when I need a break. Stop overanalyzing the situation. Now that you've admitted to everything, let it go. We're fresh starting, so you don't need to overanalyze it over and over. Number 8, do not strike any communication with your ex. We talked about that. You need a break from them. Number 9, don't beg for a second chance. 100%. We talked about not begging. What's meant to be is going to be. You may cross each other's paths in 5 years from now. Who knows? But do not beg them for anything. We're not doing that. Number 10, don't immediately fall into a second relationship. Agreed. I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, moving around and, like, dating around and, like, getting on dating apps and, like, going on fun little dates that aren't super serious. I think that those can be very healing. Like, we need to normalize a hoe phase after a breakup because they are so healing, so empowering. Literally anytime one of my friends breaks up with their boyfriend, we're like, hoe phase it up. Like, it's time. Go have fun. Because they are actually very empowering. But yeah, jumping into a second relationship where it's truly a rebound and it's just, like, not fair to the other person. Don't do that until you're ready. Like, if you're not there emotionally and you're not ready, don't pretend you are and jump into one. Don't badmouth that person. the person you broke up with, like, what's done is done. We're having a fresh start, and if you want a fresh start, truly, you can't be stuck in a mindset of, like, vengeance and bad vibes. It's time for you to just wipe the slate clean. Number 12, talk about it with your family and friends. Be very careful about who you talk about it with. As someone who's talked about it with people, like, talked about any problem I've had with people who actually didn't have my best interest in mind, and I thought they did, definitely be careful and, like, talk about things like this with people that you know you can trust. Number 13, start networking. 100%, like I said, go out with your friends, go on dating apps, be safe, all the things, but nothing wrong with networking. Number 14, maintain a journal. Yes, put all of your thoughts into a journal. It's so healing. It's so good to get it out. I promise you, you will not regret writing this stuff down in a journal, and then one day you'll look back on it and realize how far you've come, and you'll be so proud of yourself. 15, accept that the relationship wasn't right. Yup, just gotta accept that it wasn't the right thing for you and something better is coming. Lastly, 16, seek the help of a relationship expert. I don't really know about that one. Like, would you consider you watching this video seeking the help of a relationship expert? Maybe, probably not. I'm just a girl. I'm just an adult teenage girl. Therapy is always a good route, however that's pronounced. Therapy is always a good way to go. That's not just a relationship expert, that is a life expert, and you should definitely consult them. I have a list of breakup journal prompts, so let's talk. These are journal prompts for moving on and letting go from a breakup that you should definitely consider using when you are in the middle of a breakup. Number 1, what was unfair in the relationship? Number 2, list 3 reasons why your ex is not the right person for you. Number 3, list 10 reasons it wouldn't work if you got back together. Number 4, what behaviors are you ashamed of surrounding the relationship or breakup on either side, you or them? Number 5, what are you afraid to let go of? Number 6, what are you not willing to tolerate anymore in any relationship? And number 7, what did you learn about yourself from your past relationship? And I found this from Marie Pierre Portier on Pinterest. So thank you, Marie. In addition to that, I have breakup affirmations, and this is what we're going to end on. I'm going to go through these affirmations with you. You should say these as much as you need to. Say them in the mirror, write them down, affirm them as often as you need to. Pick out your favorites, pick out 2 or 3, do all of them. But affirmations really are helpful. Number 1, I give myself permission to feel all my feelings. Number 2, I forgive and release the past. Number 3, my heart is healing every day. Number 4, I release any resentment or anger. Number 5, I'm grateful for the opportunity to grow. Number 6, my emotional wounds are healing. Number 7, I forgive myself. Number 8, I fully love and accept myself. Number 9, my future is looking brighter every day. And number 10, I release the need for control. And that is from bloomaffirmations.com on Pinterest. So that is some quick tips about a breakup. That's like kind of my take on it with the help of Pinterest. I hope you guys enjoyed. The next episode will be something to do with being in your single era, with Independence Day being the day after. We want to get all of our independence on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're going through a breakup, I love you. I hope that this was helpful, and just know that it gets better and the future is bright for all of us. I hope you guys have a great night. If you're watching this on the Sunday night it comes out. If you're watching this on any other day, I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or night. I upload every single Sunday and Wednesday. You should definitely hit that follow button and join the community of women that are working to become better versions of ourselves together. And I think that's pretty much it. My TikTok and Instagram are linked down below. But I will see you guys in my next podcast episode. Bye!